Hi, welcome to another episode of Sea Change Cinema. It is so great to be with you again this week. I do believe this is week 10. So if you have been watching the cinema since the start or you're new to the sailing list, hello, and I hope you know how much I value your time and your just general awesomeness. So sorry about that. I got lost for words and how amazing I think you are. This week I wanted to talk to you about a topic that should be at the forefront of all of our minds as busy business owners, but quite often gets shoved to the back. And I'm talking about business growth. Now, the reason that this subject came up for me this week is that I was speaking to a local business owner and she had made some steps to grow that didn't work out. She was doing really well in her own setting with her online shop, and the next phase for her growth, well, as far as she was concerned, was to take everything out of the home setting and set up premises and just become a lot more process driven and a lot more industrious. The more she sold, the more she made, the more she sold, and the more busy she got, until she was run ragged and was really unhappy with what direction she'd gone in. She realised she'd actually built a business that she was starting to resent, and that is such a horrible feeling. You put so much of yourself and your heart and your soul into building this thing to then end up actually thinking, this is not what I want. It's a really hard decision or it's a hard lesson to learn. But she paused and recognised that actually she could go back to where she was before and build something that is so much more in line with what she wanted for her and her family and her own life. And it reminds me in many ways of how I started out. And if you've watched these episodes before, you've heard this story before. When I first went self-employed, I didn't grow a business. I took on clients. The two things are very different. I ended up having amazing clients that I loved working with, but when COVID hit and there was literally nothing happening, I had very little to grow from because I hadn't thought about how I wanted to shape Sea Change creative content. I was too busy dealing with my clients and loving that side of it. So what I was able to do, and I would encourage anyone to do, is think about what sort of growth you are looking for. Now, so many people on Instagram and so many people that I admire and actually work with and love are all aiming for a financial they've got a financial goal in mind for how much they'd like to earn in a year or a quarter or a month. And if that's the way that you want to grow, then brilliant. That you've already identified your area of growth. For me, of course, I want to earn loads of money doing what I love, but I want to build something that for me matches my own personality and the way that I like to do things, which is kind of slow and steady. So I tend to look at growth being about building relationships with people like you and growing my client base and expanding my services rather than having a financial growth goal. But ultimately, they all end up in the same direction. That's the plan. So the first thing is work out how you want to look. If you were to grow any further than you are now, what is comfortable, what do you enjoy, how do you want it all to look? And then it's time to reflect. Now, I started doing this back when coronavirus hit, and I plan out the following month of where I want my growth to be, if it's financial, if it's client-based, if it's audience-based. I'll work out what area of growth I'm looking to do, and then I'll work my way back, as in what steps do I need to take to reach that growth goal. But at the end of the month, I will also spend time looking back at the month I've just had, where I can see what I achieved, I can see which goals I hit, I can see where I need to do better at something or what my learning is from that month. So it's an all-inclusive kind of look at where you've been and where you're going and what you need to do in order to keep going. Now, I know it's not easy to always get the gist from just me talking, especially if I'm blethering. So what I would like to do is share the PDF with you of the sheets that I use in order to do that reflecting, so that, I mean, there's no point in you inventing your own system when you can just use mine. I'm happy for us to do this together. You know I like doing it this way. So reflecting is one thing, and it's really, really important, but there's another aspect of this that is really essential, and I hadn't really thought about this until I started hearing people talking about, you spend so much time working in your business, don't forget to spend time working on your business. And I wanted to really pick out what those things, those concepts actually meant to me, and I've managed to sort of bring it down to, it's like, who do you want to be in your business? Do you want to be the boss lady who runs the show and makes all the decisions and is in charge of the growth and where the sales come from and where the clients come from? Or do you want to be the boss lady's PA? Now, absolutely not getting all up in the faces of PAs, because I think you're amazing human beings and I hope to have one myself one day. But the PA is not in charge of paying the bills, of bringing in the income, of hitting targets, of setting goals and making sure that those steps are taken to reach the goals. Her job is to manage all of the stuff so that the boss lady can go off and do that. If you don't give yourself any time to be the boss lady, then chances are the growth that you really want will stall. Now, for me, what that means is building in boss lady time, and I try to do that 2 days a week, on a Wednesday and a Friday. They're the days that I work on boss lady activities, and that's things like following up on leads, getting in touch with previous clients and seeing how they're getting on and seeing if there's anything I can work on with them over the next month or two. It's sending out invoices or chasing payments, all of that stuff that is directly related to bringing in income and to growing on that side of things. And then I'll also spend time doing activities such as emails to my amazing sailing list, Dreamboats, that's you by the way, and social media posts and planning social media and getting in touch with people that I admire to do collaborations with, all sorts of things. So there's all different types of activities that you can be doing as the boss lady that drives your business forward. But the most important thing to do is to pause and reflect on what you want that growth to look like. Do you want to knock your pan in and aim high? Is it financial growth all the way and you will put in that energy to hit those targets? Or is it a slower, deeper, calmer paced growth where you kind of grow your people around you and bring them with you as you go forward? I mean, that it's always the second one for me. And hopefully that's going to be the right approach. I'll only know in time, but that's what feels right for me. So what I'd love to know is, next week, when can you schedule in boss lady time? And I want you to reply to this email and tell me when that boss lady time is. And what I'll do is I will send you some ideas of activities that you could be doing during boss lady time that are directly connected to the goals that you have set for growth. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So please email me and let me know when your boss lady time is next week. If you're going to be posting anything to social media, if you're going to be sending out any emails or blog posts or whatever, let me know when you're doing it and I'll make sure that I follow, that I comment, that I'm engaging in some way in the online space with you. Because, as I hope you know by now, the growth is all very well and good, but I love doing things with other people. Yes, I'll work with my clients. Yes, I'll be boss lady. But I just love having a gang of people around me, and collaboration is one of my favourite things. And I'm going to have some exciting news about collaborations that I'm getting up to over the next little while. So I'll probably put a wee bit of detail in with this email. So that's it for this week. Another episode of Sea Change Cinema, episode 10. I can't believe we're in double figures now. I really hope that you enjoy catching up with the Sea Change Cinema once a week. It's 10 minutes of your time, 20 minutes if I've got guests. And I've had so many amazing comments about the value that people get out of it. So I'm going to keep doing this if you keep watching and keep letting me know what you would like to hear about and what training you would like to know more about and what adventures you would like to come on with me across the stormy seas of running your own business, because it is stormy. But if we're all in it together, we can pull that ship into the harbour. God, I have to stop with these boat analogies. I'm out of here. See you later. Have a great weekend when it comes. Bye bye.